Hi, welcome to this week's calming practice. It's called Deep, Deep Pool, and that is a line from the Dao de Jing that I will share with you at the end of our session during final relaxation. This practice is based off of a sleep workshop I have taught. There will be a lot of lazy movements, and I emphasize that in this case, lazy is a very good thing. It's designed to engage our tissues and then relax them and allow our lymphatic system and our blood, our fluid body to envelop cells and help us feel really almost like waterlogged. So for the practice, all you need is the block and the strap. And so please, let's begin. Let's lie on the back. And we're going to start on the back with our soles of feet on the floor. And also please take your feet about mat's distance apart. So feet are comfortably wide. You're going to take your arms into goalpost position. And as you exhale, you're going to relax back to this space. And as you inhale, please drop one knee downward and inward toward your mat and reach the same side arm back. So here is this engagement and wringing out. That's your in-breath. And then as you exhale, relax back to the center and notice that you get a chance to decompress, and it's almost like that side gets to bathe in relaxation. And so you can always take another breath or two here before switching sides. As you inhale, drop one knee toward the floor, reach the arm back, and then as you exhale, relax back to the center and let the body fully relax before you go back to the first side. So we're alternating sides. Yeah. Inhale is the length, and then exhale is the relaxation. And dare to be extra lazy, especially if you are doing this later in the day or right before going to bed. This gives you a chance. My hope is this practice gives you almost several hundred chances of practicing relaxing. So the inhales, you go for it. A good stretch. You can arch your back here as well. And as you exhale, practice relaxing fully before attempting the other side. And go back and forth like this, softly, without strain. And every exhale, you get a chance to feel waterlogged. I was about to call this practice soggy. There's almost like you get a chance to feel soggy, waterlogged, heavy. And then whenever you're ready, you can lazily stretch the other side. As for this whole practice, most of it's going to be abdominal breath. That's also a good way to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest system. So go back and forth like this, lazily, a few more times. Okay, and we started with one side, so you can cycle through until you're stretching out the other side. And once you come back to center, practice again relaxing, softening down, just feeling the weight of your bones so percolate toward the floor. All right, very good. And then from here, you're going to take your arms out to the side in wingspan. And step your legs together, and please take your left thigh on top of your right thigh. And as you exhale, you're going to relax back to this position. As you inhale, please drop your knees to the left, and you can turn your head to the right. Now, in this is also, you can arch your spine a little bit. That's all in breath. And then as you exhale, come back to the center and take an extra moment, extra few seconds to notice the ability for, it's like almost like every individual cell all at once is able to release and relax. And then as you inhale, repeat the same side. So we're going to be working on the right side several times. As you drop your knees to the left, head can turn to the right, arch your back, and you can imagine breathing down your right side into your right low back. And as you exhale, come back to center. And I know sometimes we do these practices a little more rapidly in order to wake up the body. I'd really like to invite you, dare to be lazy. And of course the inhale has its own energy, but the exhale, the relaxing back to center, also has its own energy. And that's an ability that we can practice and become aware of. So do this a few more times on the right side. As your knees drop to the left, you arch your spine. And as you exhale, pause in the middle. Feel free to take a breath or two in the middle as you continue relaxing your body. And back and forth like this, lazily another few times. All right, and then so there's one more lengthening on your right. And then as you exhale, come back to center. You can unlace your legs and place both feet on the floor. And before we change sides, notice the difference between sides. My hope is energetically, your torso feels a little bit diagonal. And your right side feels a little heavier and lower to the ground. So it's almost like you're on a slope. Okay, very good. And then please, with legs together, now take your right thigh on top of your left thigh. Every exhale, you're going to lazily recoil to this spot and drop down. And as you inhale, please take your knees to the right, turn your head to the left. There's also an arch in your spine that you can investigate with your breath. That's inhale. And then as you exhale, feel the weight of your left side, left lung, left shoulder, hip, low back. Feel all that sort of saturation like groundwater as the relaxation kind of saturates downward. And then after a moment, you take your knees again to the right, head turns to the left, arch your back, and exhale, you come back to center. Yeah, and this side could feel completely different. The focal points of the stretch could be around different body parts. The nature of the stretch, maybe the adjective you would use to describe it, might be different from side to side. But all the same, as you relax back to center, take an extra moment to, you almost have to commit to be lazy. Especially for people who really like to get things done, very productive types. You almost have to commit to doing less here. So give yourself permission. You breathe down your left. If slowing down like this winds up making you yawn, count the yawn as a breath. Enjoy the yawn. That's the body unwinding and releasing speed from the body. That's how my teacher describes yawns. Speed leaving the body. So then we can more fully relax into a still point. Another couple times on your left side. Okay. Great. So from there, release and extend both legs forward. You can relax into a Shavasana on the floor for a moment. All right, very good. And then from here, you're going to keep your right leg straight. Please take just your left foot on the floor. And you can keep your left arm by your hip and take just your right arm into goalpost. So already your right side's longer. And as you exhale, you're going to relax back to this spot. As you inhale, you're going to slide your right fingers back. Press your right heel forward so you're lengthening from heel to finger. And add pressing your left foot into the floor to hike your left hip on top of the right. Now do that while keeping your left shoulder really heavy and soggy and waterlogged. And then as you exhale from there, relax back to where you started. Pause. This is a complex move, so there'll be a rather different array of relaxations happening at the end of every movement. So once again, right heel forward, right fingers back, and you press your left foot into the floor, hiking left hip on top of right hip. You're good. The shoulder might want to lead. Keep your left shoulder down. So now we're affecting even more of a twist. It's a back bend as well. And then you exhale, recoil back to where you started. So repeat this several times. This is a core line practice. This gets into the diaphragm, lungs, psoas, inner legs. So there's a lot of space down the right side that this particular move addresses. So as you inhale, you notice the space from heel to fingertips. Stack left hip on top of right. Notice the spaciousness of the lungs. And then as you exhale, relax the space on the right completely. You can also feel your left hip soften down because the left hip is part of this movement too. And then you repeat that. Right heel forward, fingers back, left hip stacks on right. And then you exhale, soften, and feel waterlogged for a breath or two. Okay, very good. So one more of the lengthening of the space creation on the right. And as you exhale, come back to the center. Take your Shavasana again from the relaxation pose. Both legs out, hands next to hips. And once again, notice that the right side might feel different than the left. And in terms of being able to sort of drop down, so like a deep, deep pool, perhaps some of you feel like your body's on a bit of a slope, like your body's tilting to the right, just a tiny amount. And that just means the right side of our body has had more practice relaxing. So let's bring that same sense of relaxation to the left side. You're going to keep your left foot where it is, right foot flat on the floor, so your right knee is bent, just your left arm in goalpost. And every exhale, you're going to relax back to this spot, so you can do that now. And as you inhale, press your left heel forward, reach your left fingers back, and right foot presses down, so right hip stacks on top of left. So it's a complex move in the spine. All that's on your inhale, and then as you exhale, You recoil back to center, and please give yourself time to drop down. And after a breath or two, again, left heel forward, fingers back. Stack your right hip on top of your left. So complex move, fair amount of muscles being used in and along your left side. So as you go forward on the inhale, reach, enjoy the space creation. And then as you exhale, relax three-dimensionally. There's a lot of softness on the left. And repeat this side several more times. And of course, while navigating second sides, you can also notice differences in sensation. The similarity can be your intention. So, especially if you are prone to accelerate, you can commit yourself to decelerate. So for this particular practice, less is more. Another time or two here. Okay, very good. So one last reaching out, enjoy the stretch, the space. And then as you exhale, come back into final relaxation. Legs drop down, torso heavy, arms waterlocked. Relax the orbits of your eyes, so feel there's a lot of fluidity in the eyes. So feel the pools of your eyes relax. And take a breath here. Okay, very nice. And so let's roll please onto one side. Whichever side you start out on doesn't matter, we'll do both. And you're gonna start on your side with your head softening down. So head's relaxed. And as you inhale, it's a side stretch here with your top heel. You press the top heel out, top arm overhead, and go for the stretch down your side. You can squeeze your bottom waist to stretch your top waist. And that's all on inhale. You breathe into the top side, and as you exhale, you release and relax. And this could be a position that some people take to actually sleep. So at the end of this, you can pretend to be sleeping. What would it feel like for your body to fall asleep here? And then you re-engage. So you lengthen. And then as you exhale, come back to center and just affect the notion of just dropping down and sleeping for a moment. And then you go for the stretch. Repeat this lazily with soft efforts. This winds up becoming a noticing practice, less of a doing practice, more of a noticing practice. And every exhale is a chance to practice relaxing. So really that absence of effort can be its own point of study. And you can improve on it. Okay, very nice. And then as you exhale, imagine like you're in the middle of sleeping and you turn from your side to the back and you drop down. So of course there'll be differences between sides. Feel like you're at the like your body weight kind of relaxes the bones into the floor. Notice. And then from here you can turn to the other side. I'm going to change orientation just for demonstration purposes, but you don't have to. So you turn over to the other side and you're there relaxed. Some of you may sleep like this. This might be one of your positions. So imagine you just decided for the next 5 seconds you were going to fall asleep. Really feel the weight, like you're dropping your energy downward, like pebbles to the bottom of a deep pool. And that's the energy of every exhale. As you inhale, you're going to reach your top arm overhead, top heel forward, and as you stretch your top side, you can squeeze your bottom waist to enhance the stretch. That's inhale, and then as you exhale, again, pretend you're sleeping, and you can focus on your ability to relax and drop down. And it might take a few seconds. And then when you are convinced you're as relaxed as you're going to get, you re-engage, side arch, side flexion. And as you exhale, from there, relax. And you can notice, is there one kind of straggler? Like for me, I know I kind of keep a little bit of tension in my head as I come back, and then I eventually relax my head. So I know for myself, I kind of relax from my legs on up to my head. So you might start to notice patterns of relaxing. So what patterns can you use to soften down? Do you relax from the top, from your head to your toes, from your toes to your head, from the middle on out? Yeah, and every exhale is the opportunity to drop deeper into relaxation, even if only for a moment. Another opportunity to practice. And once you're done stretching, on inhale, exhale, recoil to your side. And it's as if in the middle of your sleep, you turn from your side to your back. So as little effort as possible. And notice how easy it is to feel the weight of your body into the floor. And how easy it is to feel this sort of pool of relaxation, P-O-O-L, is like dropping this sort of watery softness in your back body. Great. You can keep your head relaxed, and keep your arms relaxed, feet flat on the floor. This is not a terribly big movement, but I do find this very helpful for the evening. You're going to keep your feet where they are, and then as you inhale, you're going to press one knee forward, like you're pressing a button with one knee, and your other knee is going to pull back toward your belly. Again, both feet stay on the floor. This is your inhale, and then exhale, relax back to center, so your sacrum is relaxed into the floor. And then you try that on the other side. Inhale, one knee presses forward, opposite knee almost recoils back, or engages back toward your belly a little. And then you exhale, relax back to center, feel the weight of hips. Go back and forth like this, lazily. It's like physically lazily, but intellectually and mindfully, just sort of curious. And the Question being, how much can you relax as you exhale and after you exhale? Maybe you might take another breath to really feel the droplets of relaxation run down your legs and into your hips. You might find it's easier to press one knee forward. And again, the adjectives that you would use to describe your left hip, your right hip might be different. Your left SI, your right SI. Your left low back, your right low back. Great. And so we'll do that for one last time. So you can inhale as you engage into the movement. And then exhale, come back to center. And then extend your legs forward. All right. Very good. So legs, hips, relax. And from here, take your arms up. And you're going to, with one hand, gently stroke the skin of the other arm from wrist to shoulder. And you do that on the other side. So this is a style of lymphatic massage. It's very sort of like basic, but really effective. And I also feel it's calming, and you can go back and forth. One hand brushes the skin of one arm, other hand brushes the skin of arm. Go back and forth like this. It's a few times, and especially from like the palm side toward the armpit, toward the underarm. It doesn't have to be a deep massage. And that allows you to feel the skin of the top of the arms rather well. And then from here, you can try to do the same thing with one leg, the foot sort of sweeping up the other leg. And you can do this through clothing, like lymphatic massage can be done through clothing. So like I'm wearing long pants, and this lymphatic brushing is just as effective through clothing as it is along the skin. So it's almost like you're practicing for if you had an itch on your leg in the middle of the night and you don't want to move your upper body, so you try to use one foot to kind of scratch the other one. So perhaps this is a type of training to be that lazy. But in any case, you can go back and forth like that another time or two. Okay, very good. And extend your legs. Take a deep breath into your belly center. And exhale. Great. And then please draw right knee into chest, and we're going to take it over for a twist. So you hug your right knee in, and then you take it over to the left. Your left hand is going to hold your leg in place. Your right arm can reach out to the right. I encourage you to keep your right shoulder heavy on the ground. The right hip is up. And does your knee come to the floor on the left? It by no means does it have to. If it does, that's great. If it doesn't, also fine. But if it doesn't, and you don't like the fact that it's hanging, that it's suspended, you can always use a prop under your right knee, like that. So right now I have a block up at the mid-level, and I'm supporting my knee. I like doing this if I'm interested in going to sleep soon, because that allows another opportunity for my leg to relax into something. So the contact point allows my top leg to drop down a little bit and perhaps cultivate a little bit more relaxation. You can breathe inquisitively down your right side. And so here's our first static posture. With all of the practice we've given ourselves relaxing, relax here. Now that you've cultivated an intelligence about it, feel the weight of your right arm, shoulder. You can relax everything a little more on an exhale and keep everything just as relaxed as you take an inquisitive breath. Another few times here. Okay, and then as lazily as you can, like you're adjusting your sleeping position in the middle of the night, come back to Shavasana. If you're using a prop on one side, you can always put it onto the other side. All right, very nice. And then please draw your left knee up into chest, take it over for a twist. Okay, so I encourage you to feel the sort of the deep pool, the deep softness of your left shoulder, left arm. So palm side of the arm nice and heavy. You feel the weight of your left shoulder. Left shoulder can remain heavy on the ground. Does your left knee come to the floor? If so, that's great. Just make sure there's not make sure there's no strain. If your knee doesn't come to the floor, you also have the option of taking it up onto a block. Again, I'm demonstrating at the mid-level, but you can go low, you can go high with the block. And that allows for some contact point along inside of left leg that now encourages your left thigh to drop down. So you then feel the weight of your left leg. Bottom leg's soft. And then if there's anything that's not quite relaxed, you can always focus on it, give it some attention. Oftentimes, just giving it attention will relax your body part. And then every inhale is inquisitive. Doesn't have to be the biggest breathing pattern in the world. And the focus could be as you exhale, how much more can you relax down? Can you feel your fluid body, the wateriness of your body relax toward the floor? We'll take this a few more breaths. Okay, very good. And as if you were changing a sleeping position in the middle of the night, like almost unconsciously, Relax back into Shavasana. And pause there for a breath or two. All right, very good. So from here, you can roll over onto one side. Your bottom arm, again, can be used as a headrest, so your head can, basically, the head is as if you were falling asleep. Bottom knee bent in front of you, and, well, the hip is flexed, so the knee's in front of you, and you bend your knee back. And from here, you can either A, take your top hand to your big toe, press up. You can also hold the foot at the pinky toe side. And so this is a stretch for hamstring, for inside of the leg. If holding the foot here feels like it's too much strain, feel free to take your strap around your foot. And you can hold here. So this is Anantasana. I press the heel upward, and what that does is really actually bring the top hip more directly above the bottom hip. If I'm not pressing up, the hip tends to want to relax back and down. So you press the heel up, you get a nice inner leg stretch, which is really good for the lymphatics. It's really good for stretching out femoral artery. Will make blood pumping easier throughout the night. And as you press your heel up, your legs, your top leg is working, your top arm is working, but head relaxed. And if this feels like a balance challenge, adjust your lower leg so it feels like less of a balance challenge. So, taking my knee back, that feels more difficult to balance, so I'll bring my knee forward. Makes it much easier. Doesn't really feel like a balance pose anymore. And then breathe into belly another few times here. There are ways to activate this pose. I encourage you to do as little as possible to get some length through hamstring and inner leg. And 2 more breaths here. Okay, and then you can release your top foot, and as if you were changing positions in the middle of sleep, in the middle of the night, relax back to center. Feel the after effects of the pose on the first side. So for some of you it's your left leg, some of you it's the right, doesn't matter. All right, very good. And then let's try that on the other side. So I'm changing orientations. You can just flip over if you'd like. All right, and so we can start off by eliminating what we don't need. We don't need any activity in the head. You can relax your head down. You can take your bottom leg, bend it in a way that it feels most appropriate. Okay, and then from here, top leg up toward the ceiling. So there is some activity in your top leg, and of course your arm is there to facilitate the stretch as well. So some activity in arms, some activity in leg. If you're not pressing your foot up, the tendency is for the top hip to relax back. For me, it's both more effective of a stretch and is also easier to balance. It's easier to relax everything else if I add a little bit of pressure to the top foot and press the heel up. And again, you can also use the strap, so I'll demonstrate with the strap. As you press your top leg up, that's activity, of course. What's on the ground that you can relax down? So even though there's some activity in your top leg and your top arm, try to relax, feel the weight of the body into the floor. Feel skin heavy. What can you give up? What energetic engagements can you let go of? So bottom leg, soften, hips relax as best you can. Make it as easy as possible to stay upright here with a small amount of energy. And there's another 2 breaths. Okay, great. And then from there, release, and it's as if you're changing positions in the middle of your sleep cycle, in the middle of the night. Practice doing that. Practice getting lazy. As little effort is needed. And the body, I hope, is just more and more intuitive that it softens and settles. Okay, and then you can turn back onto your first side. And instead of taking that leg up, you're gonna, and I would suggest everyone start with a strap around your top foot, and you're gonna take your top leg out in front of you. This is gonna be a pose called Supta Padangusthasana 3. It's a leg stretch, it's a torso twist. It's also an arm opener. But we'll start here. The head is off the ground for the moment. So that might actually feel like almost counterintuitive at this point. But we'll get into this as ASAP. So you're gonna press your top heel out. There's some engagement in your top leg, also some engagement in your bottom leg. From here, reach your bottom arm as far down the strap as you can. Some of you may be able to hold the foot. Arch your back here. You're gonna reach your top arm up toward the ceiling, and you reach your top arm away from your top leg. So now they're expanding in opposite directions. And my hope is at this point your head's on the floor as well. If it feels kind of dangled or caught back, you can always find a pillow or extra cushioning to support your head. And allow the head to relax. And from here, the foot that's in the strap, the foot that you're holding, press that heel in one direction, reach your arm in the other direction. Okay. So legs are engaged. Very little. The arm's engaged. You start to soften your top arm down, shoulders heavy. And breathe inquisitively. Still a little bit of engagement in legs. That does increase the stretch quite a bit. Helps release tension around hips, low back. If it feels pretty intense, we've already practiced relaxing. Hopefully it feels like you can relax your face, your jaw, your free arm, your abdominals. And there's a couple more breaths. Allow the breaths to be inquisitive. Okay, very good. So as if you're changing positions in the middle of the night. Relax back to center. Hopefully it feels like a relief that you can soften and settle down. How good does it feel to lie on the floor? Okay, great. So let's try that on the other side. Again, you can just turn the other way. For demonstration purposes, I'm switching orientation. And you're going to take your top leg, strap around the foot. And now you're on your side, and the head's up for a moment. So we will get relaxing, but hopefully it feels like with your head up, that does feel like an engagement. So the more we practice relaxation, the more we understand when it feels like engagement, and that includes tension. So my hope is that there's some tension for your head, so you're not dangling. It's good tension at that point. But you're going to drive your top heel forward, press your bottom heel out, and then you're going to reach your bottom arm as close to the foot as possible. I'll be demonstrating with the strap. Some of you might hold the foot with your hand without a strap. From here, top arm reaches up toward the ceiling, and you can arch your back here a little, and then exhale, reach your top arm opposite your top heel. All right. Make any kind of adjustments, kind of almost like you're tucking yourself in for the night, right? Make your little moves. My moves are usually geared toward maximizing contact points on the floor. So you feel your top arm reach opposite heel, that shoulder relaxes, feel the weight of your arm. The head was up for a moment, feel the weight of your head. If it does feel like it's thrown back a little bit and your neck feels like exposed or overstretched, you can always elevate your head on something, a pillow, a bolster, and relax your head, your jaw. Feel the orbits of your eyes fluid and relaxed. So our eyes, it's like two little pools in our head. Gently press your heels in their direction so there is some activity in the legs. And as there's activity in the legs, we can almost drain our upper body of activity. So the one hand's holding the foot. Otherwise, everything else can soften down. And the breath remains inquisitive. This can be a bigger stretch for a lot of people. It's good tension release for glutes, outer quad, outer thigh, and for some of us, the low back as well. Relax as much as you can in upper body, another breath or two here. Okay, very good. And then as if you were changing positions, in the middle of the night, you come onto your back, take a Shavasana, relax everything. Feel the depth of your relaxation. Feel the weight of your bones, feel the weight of your skin. Okay, very good. So from here, we're going to come to hands and knees and take a variation of child's pose that includes a stretch for the toes. So this is toes curled under. Sometimes I do this upright. For today, I'd like to offer, you can relax your head down and soften like this. So it's kind of like a hybrid between Balasana, between child's pose, and Vajrasana, toes curled under. So and I'm going to change orientation so you can see what the toes are doing. We'll be doing two foot practices. So you can relax your head on your arms. If that feels like it's too low, by all means, take your block in front of you. You can relax your hands on top of the block and your head on top of your hands. This is also a great position if you have headaches, to have your skull relax on something face down. Okay, so head is soft. There's some weight on the toes. There's some perhaps stretch around your knees. Breathe into your low back. Another few times here. And as we're taking our mind's eye into our feet, we might also be able to start relaxing our feet more in our Shavasana. Okay, very good. So then you can lift your head, you can come forward, wiggle your toes around. You can also move your ankles around. And then from here, point your toes back, and you can do the similar thing. If it feels like there's too much pressure on your ankles, come forward a little bit. And so you see how this is almost like I'm on forearms and knees. All right, so toes point back. My knees are not bent more than 90 degrees here. Anywhere from here to here, as long as that works for your knees and as long as that works for your ankles. Okay? If you'd like to relax back but the knees don't agree with this, you can also place a block between heels and hips and relax down there. So now my knees don't have to bend as much, but my ankles get that stretch along the top of the feet. As always, try to relax your head as much as possible. Okay, great. And then you can press into the floor, come out of that. Again, wiggle toes, wiggle ankles. And then pigeon is next. So from here, pigeon is going to be right knee forward, left leg behind you. And you can either take toes curled under or toes point back, whatever feels intuitive and whatever allows you to relax. This is going to be a relaxed pigeon. It might feel pretty intense, but ideally it's relaxed. If your hips are up, you can always place the block under your right hip. Also, your back leg doesn't have to be fully back. You can bend it and make your legs more like almost like the letter Z, if you can imagine that. With your right foot forward, it'd be a backward Z if you're looking down. But so my right knee is forward, my left knee is bent, and I can fold down over my right leg with much less intensity. If I wanted more intensity, I would go back with the leg. So from here, this is for a lot of people a outer thigh stretch, a big outer hip stretch. Relax down as much as you can. So if it feels like you're relatively high and you can't get your head on anything, don't worry about it. Just take soft neck circles. And as you're taking neck circles, keep your face completely relaxed. And keep the orbits of your eyes completely relaxed. And after several circles in one direction, you could circle in the other direction. If your head's on the ground, still orbits of the eyes soft, head is soft. Okay, great. And then from here, you press back up and to the right. Take your time. You come up right and we'll switch legs. Left leg is forward. Right leg is back. And if you can relax down, that's great. Modifications include some prop underneath your left hip. Aside from using a prop, your back leg does not have to be straight. You can bend it so it's like the letter Z. Kind of like so this is diagonal. And that allows for more access to lie forward. Okay, so if this is a good stretch, you stay here. If you'd like to stretch your back leg back, you could do that too. All right, and if your head's down, continue relaxing your face, relaxing the pools of your eyes. If you're up in a place where you can't relax your head easily or would feel like you're really dangling your head, gentle movements of your neck. And while moving neck, keep your jaw slack, like your jaw is waterlogged. And keep the space around your eyes heavy, like your eyes are waterlogged. And we'll do that for a few more breaths. Change the direction of the circle if you are circling your neck. All right. Great. And then from here, come out of that and come to a cross-legged seat is option number 1. Sit upright, we'll be doing a couple of hand stretches. Or if you're able to, you can sit on heels or even between heels in Virasana. So if this feels like a comfortable position, like especially if you're doing this in the evening, if this feels like an evening position, that's great. If this feels like, oh my gosh, this is gonna keep me awake for 3 hours, just go back to cross-legged position. But just for 2 hand stretches, interlace your fingers and press your palms up. And this gets the palms of the hands. You don't need to extend your arms fully. If you would like, bend your elbows and get it's like you're pressing the palm side of the knuckles up toward the ceiling. And that gets a hand stretch. From there, you can extend your arms as much or as little as you'd like. And a few breaths here. Orbits of the eyes soft, jaws relaxed. Okay, and then exhale, release, hands on thighs, a couple shoulder blade rolls in one direction, and a couple shoulder blade rolls in the other direction. So that was the palm side of the hand that was getting a stretch. Now I have to get the back side of the hand. It's an interesting way to do this. What you're going to do is fold your fingers up, flex your fingers as deeply as you can. So it's like a thumbs up with the fingers as flexed as you can make them. And then I call this capping. What you're going to do is take the imprint of your thumb and try to cap that imprint on top of your index finger. So you see how that is? So thumbs up, and then I try to cap my thumb on top of the index finger. That keeps the fist a fist as I then take the fist to my ribs. So at this point, my thumbs are capped, my palms are facing up. And so I get my hands up as high as I can and keep my thumbs active, but now I'm going to relax my arms and relax them gradually. And my hope is that you'll feel a stretch on the back of your hands, perhaps back of fingers, hands, wrists, and you might feel it all the way up the back side of our forearms. So it's this line here, from back of hand to wrist to the point of the elbow. These are your finger extensors, short and long finger extensors, as well as some wrist extensors. These don't get a lot of stretch, so this could feel like it's pretty intense. But relax your jaw, relax your eyes. We've done a lot of work toward torso, and I would like to go out to the perimeter before we call it a practice. So to get out of this, just lift your elbows up, relax your hands, and you can make wrist circles in one direction, wrist circles in the other direction, and then release. All right, so we got the hands, we got the toes. I also have some eye practices. I would recommend, I'm going to do them sitting up, but I would recommend you just do this lying on the back. And I'm going to come a little bit closer to the camera so you can see where my eyes are going. But so lie on the back and relax the back of your head into the floor. Feel the weight of your jaw. Feel the weight of bottom row of teeth, top row of teeth. Feel the weight of your hard palate. So the upper palate of your mouth, which is also the seat of your eyes. And so you can relax that bone, the sphenoid bone, toward the floor. Kind of looks like a butterfly, and it's like the base of the eyes, the seat of the eyes. All right, and so relax your eyes for a moment. Feel the orbits of the eyes. And we're going to do a couple different practices here. I'm going to take my glasses off. So if you need to look, you can see what I'm doing. And you can imagine I'm lying on the back. So from here, you widen your eyes as wide as you can. So that's the muscles going in one direction. So it's like a surprised face. And then exhale, tighten the eyes, tighten your eyelids, and squeeze. And then relax your eyes completely. Relax your face completely. And we'll do that twice more. So the eyes are wide, like it's a big surprise. And then from here, close your eyes and squeeze your eyelids together. Of course, you'll feel the upper face contract as well, some facial muscles. So let's give it a good squeeze. And then completely soften the orbits of the eyes. The eyes relaxed, open or closed, eyelids wherever they are. Soften them down. And we'll do that one more time. So eyes in surprise, way wide as you can. You'll feel your top half of your facial muscles work as well. And then exhale, and close your eyes and squeeze. Squeeze, so you feel maybe a little bit of pressure on the eyes, a lot of engagement around the musculature of your upper face. And then completely relax your face. And my hope is that you feel the orbits of your eyes, the globes of your eyes, heavier. Okay. And the next practice you can do with your eyes open or closed, whatever allows your eyelids to relax the most. But I will do them with my eyes open so I can demonstrate. So from here, the head remains heavy. And as you inhale, you turn your eyes up as if you're trying to look at the front of your brain. And then exhale, your eyes go down. It's like you're trying to look at the roof of your mouth. And go back and forth like this a few times. Look up fairly high. You can feel eye muscle stretches. And then exhale, eyes down. You can feel eye muscle stretches here. And go back and forth like this. Eyes up. You hold that enough to notice the stretches. Eyes down. Hold it to notice the stretches of the muscle. And you go back and forth like this. So this is testing the limits of muscle engagement and stretch in the eyes. From my understanding, eye strain when we look at screens happens because all the muscles are engaging kind of all at once. and yet they don't go, the globes don't go anywhere. They're usually just kind of in front of you. So we get a chance to really work expanding where the eyes are able to go. And after going up and down a few times, relax your eyes. And feel the spaciousness around your eyes. Allow your eyes to sink further into the skull. Okay, great. And once again, this next practice you can do with your eyes open or closed or anywhere in between. But you're going to turn your eyes to one side. So it's like you're trying to look at one ear, and then you relax into the middle. And then so you try to look at your other ear, and you relax in the middle. So there's one more step. I like to relax in the middle on this one. So you go back and forth like this. Look over for 2, 3, 4 seconds, and then you relax back into the middle. Practice relaxing your eyes, just like we've practiced relaxing our whole body in this sequence. And as you look to one side, notice the stretches, notice the engagements. And then as you exhale, notice the space and the softness. Go back and forth like this a few times. There's activity as you're looking as far to one side as you can, and then the softness happens in the middle. And once you do an equal amount per side, you come back to center. Notice the space you've created around your eyes, and allow your eyes to relax further into the skull. And as your eyes are relaxing, you can start to rub your palms together to create some heat. So your palms have some heat, some frictional heat. So you rub, keep your head relaxed, head heavy, and then from here you can place your palms, eyes closed of course, but palms on the surface of your eyelids, and allow that warmth of your palms to soak into your eyelids, soak into the orbits of your eyes. And then one more time. So you can generate some heat in your palms, especially the heel of your palm. And after you've generated some heat, you gently place the palm of your hand onto the skin of your eyelids, softening your eyelids, softening your eyes. And then from there, relax your hands by your sides in final relaxation. So here we are. We practiced this pose so many times today. So here, embody it fully. Relax your legs. Drop your hips into the floor. Feel your torso relaxed. Soften arms, hands, the couple hand stretches we've done. Allow your wrists to relax. And fingers. And finally, allow the orbits of your eyes to soften. Feel the weight of your skull. And relax your forebrain into the back of your skull. So in just the same way we've relaxed our eyes, imagine your brain relaxing and softening in the same way. So this practice was inspired by the Dao de Jing, particularly this phrase, the Dao, which means the way. The way is like a deep, deep pool in the mountains, unfathomable, yet could well harbor the origin of all life forms. The Tao is like a deep, deep pool in the mountains, unfathomable, yet could well harbor the origin of all life forms. So notice the deep, deep pool of your experience. There's no effort required to notice. You can actually give up all effort, all thinking, all consideration, and notice the entirety of your experience all at once. Okay. Great. So from here, and with as little effort as possible, you start to move around a little bit. Make it intuitive. You can roll yourself to one side and lazily come up to a quiet seated position. And notice that even in your upright seat, you can still experience that depth of the practice that we've cultivated today. Okay. Great. Well, thank you very much for practicing with me. Hopefully this was a calming, a nurturing practice, and I also hope it helps you in your resting state. So thank you so much. Take care. Namaste.